Hey everybody, welcome to RumblenBreaks. It's F1 Sundays. It's race Sundays, actually. And so let's see how we did in our fantasy pool. And here's our fantasy pool. I mean, 239 points, ain't too shabby. I switched it up a bit. Got Gasly, Leclerc. Tried to stay away from what everyone has with the Aston Martin Red Bull. But it didn't pay off too well. I mean, I think max I could have gotten was like 270 something points. We can talk about that a little bit more. So overall, I mean, it was just okay. Our fantasy pool is not too bad. I mean, I changed it up. We actually lost points because I switched up a few of the little lower end drivers. But yeah, I mean, overall not too bad. I think we're in it for the long run. I think I swapped out for our Aston Martin for Mercedes so we can get a little bit more quality drivers. But overall not too bad. If Albon had done well, he would have been fantastic. But let's get to the race results. I mean, so I got Dr. F1 with me, and it was an interesting race.
It was. Saudi Arabia is known for, crashes and safety cars. You look at the last two times it's been there. This is the only third race that's been at this circuit. It's way earlier in the calendar than it normally is. We did have one safety car. Some people were strategically able to go in and make some tire changes, and there was some excitement we'll get to later around one of our top drivers, but I think overall kind of a boring race. The qualifying was a little more exciting because we knew that Charles Leclerc had a penalty, so he was going to try and qualify as high as possible, and he actually finished in second, so that dropped him down to 12th. And then we had Verstappen, which wow, like a little bit shades of the beginning of last year with Red Bull reliability. Had to ultimately have his car completely torn apart and fixed after qualifying because he went out in Q2, didn't even complete a lap in Q2, so finished 15th. So a little bit.
I think it's interesting because I think De Vries had the same problem in his
three
car.
of the four, let's say, Honda powered cars have had Sonoda. I think Perez is the only one maybe who hasn't had something done to it, or maybe it's Sonoda hasn't had something done and Perez did, but basically some concerns, and even you heard Verstappen on the race today.
He had some problems too.
He was paranoid the whole race that something was going to happen to his car, and rightly so, because fun fact, of the two other times before now, so this is the third time ever Verstappen started from 15th on the grid, and both of those times he didn't finish the race.
Yeah, so, well, good segue. I mean, who finished in the top three? That is the big question, and, even just before this recording, we found out who actually won, who was in the top three. But let's start with the first place. Who actually won the race? It was this man. I mean, look, he's like,
Perez.
Thank you, I won the race.
So important thing about Perez. So he is only one of two drivers ever in the history of Formula One that has started from pole position twice in their career. And won from that track, basically. Like and to do it at the same venue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. Like he's won twice here.
I mean,
starting from pole.
I mean, the other fun fact was the Aston Martin one.
That's true. So Fernando Alonso, for you who don't know, because Leclerc was downgraded, Alonso ended up getting bumped up to the first row, and it was the first time in
63 years.
63 years that Aston Martin was on the front row. So I mean, that's kind of some crazy fact there.
Yeah, considering how many races they've won, and in second place. I got to take off the finger here. So second place, Max Verstappen. I mean, it was a shame. Like Perez is celebrating the pit with the crew, and Yost is just being kind of a dick.
Verstappen was being classy. His dad, not so much.
Yeah, not so much.
His dad didn't even bother to congratulate. If you go back and watch the end of the F1 race, Perez walks basically right past him. And it's stupid too, because Verstappen, not only did he charge up the field to come second, and he legitimately couldn't catch Perez, but he did nick the fastest lap. So in the end, he's 1 point ahead of Perez.
1 point ahead of Perez. Like it was interesting. Like he was just being conservative. I think he just wanted to finish the race, right? So But yeah, I mean, like very final lap. I think he was asking, the team, what's happening, like who's got the fastest lap, and knowing that Perez is ahead,
Yeah.
that he just wants to be number one, right? So he charges up the head.
This is the risk. I mean, fantasy pool, Verstappen, if you had your DRS multiplier on him, 122 points, great pick because he was charging up. Leclerc was pretty good too because he was also doing a lot of pass overtakes. He just didn't rise as high up in the race. But man, if something had happened to either Perez or Verstappen, because Perez also was having brake problems, and you had Red Bull as your constructor, you would have been in trouble. So I mean, it's strategic, right? You got to think about like the diversity, let's say, of your fantasy pool.
And yeah.
Speaking of which, everyone loves Aston Martin. I think everybody has Alonso in their fantasy pool.
So who came in third? It was this man. No, wait. No, it was this man. But up until I think like 3
hours ago.
3 hours ago, it was like it was this man. And I think Alonso actually went and looked for George Russell during the post race to figure out.
I mean, for those of you who weren't watching the race, let's explain what happened. So Alonso starts in second place, amazing drive from him the whole time, finishes third. So just awesome. And then George Russell, what happened was Alonso on his start lined up a little bit badly on his start, takes a 5-second penalty. So when the safety car incident happened, when actually his teammate Stroll went out with some problem.
That was a shame.
Yeah, it was a shame. He's driving well, and so Stroll goes out. Alonso, jumps in to serves his 5-second stop-go penalty, comes out, everything's hunky-dory, and then he basically finishes third, goes and does the podium celebration, everything, and then as they're doing like post-race interviews, this FIA comes down and says, nope, actually somebody touched the car, 10-second additional penalty. George wins wins third. So then Alonso goes and gives the trophy to George. George is like, I don't think I should be given the trophy.
He's been celebrating, everyone's celebrating and everything. It's just, it doesn't make any sense.
And so what happens? They reverse it again. So they put back, so now Alonso officially has finished third. The FIA reversed their decision.
That's why the fantasy poll actually took a while to actually update too. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was interesting. It's terrible.
It is. It doesn't make any sense. The FIA is not making good calls right now.
So I'm going to switch this back. He's like, oh, you know what? You deserve You deserve third place.
We switched it back much faster than the FIA did.
Exactly. We should be the stewards. But yeah, I mean, Danny Rick here. I saw, if you haven't seen the video from Conor Moore, he's like,
trying to poison Verstappen.
Danny Rick is trying to poison Verstappen. Sorry, spoiler alert, but what else did we got here? Carlos Sainz. The Ferraris were looking pretty slow today. Like,
what was the guy we were watching call? Not Sainz. What was he calling him? Sainz or something?
Sainz, yeah.
I think it's Sainz.
Mick Schumacher no longer in the place.
He's always behind Toto.
There
if you're
go.
Watching the video. Oh,
Fernando.
My favorite, Fernando, with his smirk.
Lewis Hamilton, who's also not doing. I mean, if you pick Mercedes as your in place of
if you went slightly lower drivers and you went Ferrari, Mercedes, you got a lot of points this weekend.
You did get a lot of points. Duhan actually did okay this weekend, I want to say.
He won.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the sprint weekend, the sprint race.
He didn't win the sprint.
He didn't win the race, but he did win the F2
race.
Yeah, he won the F2 race. And Mr. Inconsistent Daruvula, actually, he's actually in fourth in the point standings right now. He came third,
I believe, in the race.
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
Off the track, Sergio.
Oh, Sergio. I thought it was Daruvula for a second.
Sergio. Now it's switched back the other way. It's weird. Oh, AlphaTauri, not without the Chira problems. Yeah. Haas and...
Yeah, cards are all upside down. So
yeah.
This is just a game though, right?
It's just a game, yeah. And then we have the pink... Danny Ricciardo.
A sparkly Danny.
All right, let's get to the next pack. Let's go Flagship.
There was a weird thing we learned today watching a different video is Danny Rick, of all the F1 drivers, has like one of the biggest car collections of any of them.
Yeah, and he's got this, apparently he has a Ferrari that he doesn't want to talk about. So it's like the Ferrari that shall not be named. There we go. Jehan Daruvula. Mr. Inconsistent. He's okay. Pierre Gasly. The Alpine team was actually pretty.
Yeah, that was a good pick.
There was
the two of them on your.
Yeah, I mean that's in my other team. I had
both
a Ferrari.
Not
both
as good
in the
as
points.
Ferrari, but both in the points.
And Christian Lundgaard.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny.
Is he even racing this year? I don't think
he is in. I believe he is actually in IndyCar.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in IndyCar, and Beauchamp actually is still leading the race. Theo Pourchaire, unfortunately, was out with during the sprint.
He lunged. He thought he was Max Verstappen and lunged and didn't get it right.
We got a blue car, which is out of 99. Last time we got a Hamilton. Oh, we got Hamilton. There you go. Hammer time.
You're so busy looking at the card. You're like,
so,
oh wait.
We got a Danny Rick numbered out of 99. 3 out of 99. It's too bad it's not. I think what is his number 5? And that's nice. Lewis Hamilton checkered flag, number 1. The true number 1. Lance Stroll, unfortunately, I mean, I think he had power. It's basically power failure. He was driving.
No, they were foaming his brake or something. There's something else going on weird.
Lundgaard and Verstappen, and this is Abu Dhabi,
yeah.
not Saudi Arabia. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, like, and then what happened to Piastri was just a travesty. We opened the flagship, so this is the Chrome now.
All right.
So. Yuki Tsunoda. So Piastri was a fiasco. I mean, like it was too bad. Like
Tsunoda once again denied his points. Magnussen.
Oh, the very last row.
Yeah.
And we got a
Stroll.
Oh, double Yuki. Boo.
Shiny, sparkly.
So sparkly Yuki. This is my car. It looks like a little fake car. And we got a purple. Who's this? Zindelli?
So.
A purple Zindelli?
I don't know who that is.
That is numbered out of 399. Yeah, I can't tell you.
Never heard of.
That's not bad. That's actually not too shabby.
Whoever that is not an F2 because I have not heard that name come up.
Yeah, and we're looking at Martins and
yeah, Martins is doing well in his first season.
And we got the last pack. This is the newest product for Chrome for cards. Ooh, this is called a Black Wave of Jack Doohan.
Ooh,
that's not bad. It's a nice looking card and nice, Mr. Daruvula. It's like
Drogovic.
Sorry, not
you
Daruvula.
Always confuse those.
Drogovic, Mr. Drogovic himself. I mean,
he's waiting to drive.
He's just waiting for the Lance Stroll to bump out. K-Mag, again, as you said, you know.
Got the last point.
Got the very last point, and all you hear on the radio is Yuki goes, no! It's such a shame. Too bad, Yuki. But yeah. And
I don't even think he said no. It was like, oh! It was like painful.
Yeah, it's like he got stabbed or something. Alex Albon. I mean, again, it's a shame. I mean, he had brake problems, and they're like, why isn't he going into the pit? Like the commentary is like trying to understand what was going on there.
I liked his yellow. I liked his blonde hair. His like platinum blonde hair dyed this week.
Yeah, and we got a refractor of
George Russell.
Speed demon. Yeah, he said he was trying to catch up. He was trying to catch up within that 5-second penalty, thinking that he had a chance. He's like, I'm driving like a speed demon or a madman or something like that.
He's driving like a madman, but he couldn't catch Alonso was 5 seconds ahead. I mean, that's really hard to catch unless you're like, well, even Verstappen couldn't close that final 5 seconds to Perez.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the Aston Martins are on fire, right? The only faster car, I think. People said Ferrari's fast, and I mean, they do look fast in qualifying, but they're still struggling on the track. So
yeah, it's an interesting season. It's a long season. I mean, 23 races. 23 races. It's a very long season. So
of people don't understand
if you're behind now, don't worry about it. Like you'll catch up. I mean, it's odd that everyone has almost the same team. So if you play the right cards, you'll do well, I think.
And understand when to use chips, because there's a lot of people misusing chips.
Yeah, a lot of people are using chips now that shouldn't. I think you have more points, more opportunities later on in during sprint weekends. Save it for sprint weekends. But yeah, I mean, let us know what you think. Did you find this race entertaining? Was it one of your favorites? It wasn't, definitely not mine.
It was okay. I think it was a story of 3 chapters to me. The first 20 laps, especially with the safety car. That was some excitement, and there was some good jockeying. And then like the next 20 laps were like, wah, wah, and then the last 10 was exciting again.
I still thought that it was interesting that you could actually take advantage of that safety car with that 5-second penalty. So it's good strategy for next time. So, but yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know who do you think will do. Who do you think we should have in the next race? And I believe it's Australia.
It's Australia.
Australia in the next race. So, let us know what you think. Did you like it? Have a great week, folks.